Hello and welcome. I want you to picture something for me. Imagine a system that runs, well, perfectly. It's fast, it's reliable, totally smooth, for 23 hours a day. But every single morning, like clockwork, right at 9 a.m., something goes terribly, terribly wrong. Today, we're going to step into the shoes of a digital detective and solve the case of the 9 a.m. crash. It's a story about a hidden force, one that brings a powerful system to its knees, and how we can learn to see the invisible patterns that almost everyone else misses. So the first reports trickle in, but then it becomes a flood. You get all these frustrated messages from hundreds of people all saying the exact same thing. And for the IT teams on the ground, the pressure is just immense. The entire business is waiting, and every single second of downtime feels like an eternity. They're just staring at a system they trust, a system that should work, but it's failing them right when they need it the most. And that is the central mystery, isn't it? What is it about this 1 hour, this single hour of the day, that turns a stable, happy environment into a total digital traffic jam? I mean, this isn't a random failure, it's a pattern. And to solve it, we have to think like detectives. So let's grab our magnifying glass and start looking for clues. The investigation begins now. Okay, so our investigation starts by following the journey that every single user takes. To figure out where the system is breaking down, we first have to understand how it's supposed to work in the first place. You see, every login leaves a trail, and somewhere along that trail, we're going to find our first clue. This right here, this is our map. From the moment you type in your password to the second your application finally pops up, a whole chain of events happens. Each step is like a domino. And in a normal login, they all fall seamlessly, one after the other. But at 9 a.m., something is stopping them. So now, each of these steps is a potential crime scene. Let's start at the very beginning. Authentication. You can think of this as the front door to the entire system. Now, when just one or two people are knocking, it's easy, right? But what happens when hundreds of people all try to push through that exact same door at the exact same moment? This is our first major area of interest. And this reveals a really critical piece of the puzzle. During non-peak hours, the system is relaxed. It's just coasting. But at 9 a.m., everything changes. The servers that act as the system's security guards, the ones checking everyone's password, they're called domain controllers. They are suddenly put under immense stress. You can literally see their processing power spike while response times slow to a crawl. This delay, this is our first piece of hard evidence. The front door is jammed. Okay, so let's say a user actually manages to squeeze through that jammed front door. They've been authenticated, great. But now they face the next potential slowdown, loading their user profile. This is where the system prepares your personalized digital workspace, and it's our second major clue in this trail. A user profile is kind of like a digital backpack. It's filled with everything that makes your session yours. Your desktop background, your app settings, all your saved preferences. But if that backpack is too heavy, or if everyone is trying to grab their backpack from the same closet at the same time, well, that creates a massive delay. So far, we've only followed the user's direct path. But a login doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? A bottleneck in one place is often propped up by other strained parts of the system. So now we need to broaden our investigation and start looking for accomplices, those background components that are also buckling under all this pressure. Our first suspect is something called a virtual delivery agent, or VDA for short. Think of these as the powerful workhorses that create your own personal computer session up in the cloud. They give you the desktop and the apps you use, but just like a real horse, they can only carry so much weight. When too many people try to get a session all at once, the VDAs just get overwhelmed. They run out of memory, they run out of processing power. Next up, we're going to question the StoreFront servers. These guys are like the friendly concierges of the system. They're the ones who greet you and show you which applications are available. But at 9 a.m., they're not just greeting a few guests, they're facing a mob, and the sheer volume of requests can make them slow and totally unresponsive. And finally, we investigate the system's central brain, the site database. This thing holds all the configuration. It knows who's logged in where, and it coordinates absolutely everything. Every single login creates a query to this database. But at 9 a.m., it's not a conversation, it's a roar of questions. And if it can't answer them fast enough, the entire system just grinds to a halt. So when you put all the clues together, you get a picture that looks a lot like this. Take a look at the chart. The system has a certain amount of capacity, a certain amount of resources available, but the demand during that 9 a.m. peak hour is just so much greater. It's really a simple story of demand overwhelming supply. The crash isn't just one component failing, it's the entire system running out of room to breathe. So we have our clues, and we have our suspects. Now, how does a senior administrator, our master detective, actually crack the case? Well, it's not about guesswork. It's about a methodical process of elimination, armed with the right questions, and most importantly, the right data. So the detective asks the first and most important question: is the problem at the front door? They'll measure the authentication times during the comm hours and compare them directly to the storm at 9 a.m. If there's a huge difference, boom, they've found their primary bottleneck. If not, they know the real culprit is hiding further down the trail. Next, the detective follows the trail. They're thinking, okay, if it's not the front door, what about those digital backpacks? So they ask, are profile load times an issue? They look at the data for profile sizes and they check the performance of the servers that store them. One question at a time, just following the evidence, letting the numbers lead the way. Then they broaden the search to the accomplices. They turn their attention to the system's central brain. They wonder, is the database struggling? Is it causing delays across the entire system? They don't guess. They let the data tell the story, moving methodically from one suspect to the next. And this brings us to the detective's secret weapon. The method is called data-driven troubleshooting. And you know what that really is? It's the simple but incredibly powerful art of not assuming. Instead of panicking and blaming the usual suspects, an expert calmly compares the system's behavior when it's calm to its behavior during the storm. And the differences in that data, they always reveal the truth. Now, cracking the case is one thing, but preventing the next crime, that's another. This is the playbook for a stable system. It's all about keeping those profiles lean, monitoring performance constantly, and planning for growth before it happens. This isn't just about fixing things, it's about fortifying them. And that brings us to the moral of our story today. A complex system like this isn't just a machine with one broken part. No, it's an ecosystem. Everything is connected. A weakness in one area puts stress on all the others. The 9 a.m. crash? It wasn't one failure. It was the whole ecosystem crying out for help. This is the expert mindset that solves these mysteries. It's the ability to step back from the immediate fire and look at the bigger picture. You see, great detectives don't just see a single error message. They see the behavior of an entire system over time. They learn to find the quiet patterns that are hidden in all the noise. Because the storm, it's inevitable. Growth always happens. Demand always increases. The real question isn't if the storm will come, but how you prepare for it. By understanding the flow, by listening to the data, and by treating your system as this interconnected whole, you can be ready. You can be the detective who solves the case before it even begins.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.